CEO Jensen Huang says Nvidia could potentially resurrect old GPUs to address shortages and high pricing.
Okay, I have not seen any further than the headline for this. So this is going to be me with an uninformed hot take. I love it.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Sure. At a Q&A with Nvidia in Las Vegas for CES, Jensen was asked something along the lines of, this is paraphrasing, gaming GPU prices are high right now, likely due to supply constraints. Could
really
producing
but yeah.
older generation GPUs, I hope he said that, or lower VRAM models help ease pricing? And are there any concrete steps Nvidia is considering? Jensen's reply was, I don't know if this one's paraphrasing or not, but Jensen's reply was, yeah, possibly. And we could possibly, depending on the, so this makes me think it's a real quote, depending on which generation, we could also bring the latest generation AI technology to the previous generation GPUs, which they have done before. And that will require a fair amount of engineering, but it's also within the realm of possibility. I'll go back and take a look at this. It's a good idea.
I would love to
assuming
see
that
it,
means 4.5 on older GPUs.
because there is so it would probably mean that, which the older GPUs could probably handle, because I think 4.5 is running decent on does 4.5 run on 40 series? I think it does.
We're talking about DLSS 4.5.
But it's frame gen that I think is not running on 40 series at the higher levels of frame generation. So I think that's probably where he's looking at it going, yeah, we'd have to do a bunch of engineering on this. But from my point of view, so there's multiple constraints on the whole GPU supply thing, right? There's the TSMC manufacturing capacity on the nodes that these GPUs are being manufactured at. There's the just general supply crunch for anything related to computer memory. So the way that memory manufacturers are allocating their production to data center oriented parts rather than consumer oriented parts. And then I don't know if this has changed since the last time I looked into it, but apparently the silicon wafers themselves that both of those are produced on are in short supply. So this isn't going to help with that, because if anything, producing last generation GPUs on an older node is going to be less efficient in terms of how much compute you make per wafer that you produce.
Yeah.
It also won't necessarily help on the memory side unless the memory manufacturers have manufacturing capacity at older nodes to make older, slower memory, and they can get enough silicon wafers. So as long as we can get enough wafers, then I actually love this.
Yeah.
Because, and you can hate NVIDIA for a lot of reasons, and I'm gonna be like, okay. But one of the things that you can't really hate them for, and I think they actually do, maybe not industry leading, but certainly top tier, like S tier job of, is supporting their products for a long time after they go end of sales. So if they were to bring back 40 series GPUs, I would, and I hope I don't eat these words, I hope NVIDIA has the integrity for me, what I'm saying to be true, but I would believe that they would extend the EOL of the support on those cards. Because it seems like...
You mean like driver-wise?
Yeah, it seems like their calendar for end-of-life support starts where sales ends, from what I've seen of them in the past. Whereas you'll have companies that compete directly with NVIDIA, like AMD, that will just be like, no, not that one anymore. Which I also understand. I understand where AMD's coming from. They've had cards in the past that, as far as I can tell, existed for 1 or 2 production runs and then just didn't exist anymore. What was that? That Radeon, remember Radeon 7?
Oh.
Yeah. Like, what was that?
Yeah, kind of.
As far as I could tell, they had some, like, data center chips that didn't make the cut, and they just, like, dumped them in a consumer card, sharded them onto the market, and then how long did that card get supported for? Like, not very long. Like, it was pretty bad. And it was the same with remember that water cooled like Fury one?
Oh yeah.
You remember Radeon Fury?
That was a weird era. That was a particularly very, very weird era on the AMD side. We're not quite done the topic, though. I'm going to keep adding a little bit because this might change some of the opinions.
Oh, no.
Well, no, I think it's okay. But so the answer from Jensen was a little vague, but it does line up with rumors reported on by videocards.com with a Z that the RTX 3060, so not 4000 series, 3000 series, is coming back for Q1 2026. However,
3060 is a good card.
it is a good card. It's just, you were talking about 4000, so I just wanted to add that in there.
Okay.
However, it seems more likely that NVIDIA's board partners are focusing on producing more RTX 5060 and 5060 Ti 8 gig models while moving away from the 16 gig models. And then it says, as a Chinese board channels post insinuates, they are, which seems even more likely after recent news that ASUS is ending production of its 5070 Ti.
Oh, the 5070 Ti is like the good one in the 50 series lineup. I really like the 5070 Ti. We used it in 2 build guides recently. We used it in the MSRP PC and we used it in our $2,000 gaming PC build guide. I really like that card. At $750, obviously it's a crap ton of money, but it's a really fast card, like with a little bit of DLSS, not too much, little bit of super sampling. You don't even have to use FrameGen. It's a legitimate 4K gaming card, and it's obviously got support for all of NVIDIA's latest features if you want to turn those things on. It is, oh god. Oh no. Have prices already skyrocketed on it? As recently as like a week or two ago, it was available at MSRP, and that does not appear to be the case anymore, at least not on Newegg. Hold on. I'm sorting by lowest. Oh my god. The lowest 5070 Ti. Wait, am I on like am I in the Canada site or something? Because it's it's over $1,000.
Oh.
No, not cool. Not cool.
Hold on.
Okay, I'm holding on. What am I holding on to?
So Hub, Hardware Unboxed, has a video from a day ago talking about the 5070 Ti potentially being killed off, which they have now added an update to the title. Somebody in Floatplane Chat, Quantum Jank in Floatplane Chat notified me of this. And then they have a pinned comment, which is very long.
Nice. Solid.
That says, sorry everyone, but we've been provided with another clarifying statement from ASUS. This one completely walks back their original statement to us. We would like to clarify recent reports regarding the ASUS GeForce RTX TM 5070 Ti and RTX TM 5060 Ti 16 gig. Certain media may have received incomplete information from ASUS PR representative regarding these products. They have not been discontinued or designated end of life. ASUS has no plans to stop selling these models. Current fluctuations in supply for both, due memory constraints, blah, blah, blah.
Okay, so basically what it sounds like to me is that someone at ASUS was like, well, yeah, because it's so much RAM per board, we'd much rather sell 5070s and 5060 Ti 8 gigs. And so effectively, we're not going to be making any of these. Because remember, NVIDIA apparently switched from providing the GPU die and the accompanying VRAM as a kit to just selling GPU dies. So in doing so, NVIDIA effectively ceded control of exactly what their partners are making. So what this sounds like to me, and I don't know, I didn't talk to ASUS about it. I haven't even talked to Hardware Unboxed about it. But what it sounds like to me is that someone at ASUS, real talk, was like, yeah, realistically, if I have 16 gigs of VRAM and I have GPUs, I'm going to make 2 GPUs, not 1 GPU, so deal with it. Because we've seen many cases in the past where like, a new GPU launches and there's like a vanilla like MSRP one and it never gets formally discontinued. But they just like don't make any. And they only make the OC and the Strix and the Matrix and the freaking Astral and like whatever, right? Like we've seen this playbook 100 times.
Oh yeah.
So it sounds to me like it's the playbook. But then someone saw these comments and was like, yo, you said the quiet part out loud, brother. You can't do that.
We might be dealing with a lot of rumors. Schraff is also saying that selling the die and memory separately was just a rumor.
Yeah, that's why I said. That's why I said apparently.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Apparently.
I would also like to say that if you want more of this timeline, you should check out the video from Hardware Unboxed, which is titled "The RTX 5070 Ti has ... maybe been killed off brackets update." The reason why I'm saying that is check the pinned comment, because they even have like a timeline of things that have happened and where they're currently at. Yeah, if you want to stay on top of this is interesting. Hub seems to be probably the way the place to go right now.